I get an apartment with two of my friends, and my girlfriend comes and lives with us, and she thinks she's kicking me out the apartment, you're done.
She's yelling, she's throwing a temper tantrum.
Bro, first of all, none of my homies' girlfriends is yelling at me in my face like this. Not happening.
Which then leads to her putting hands on him.
Putting hands on him? Oh, Jesus. Here we go. We got some.
Shows me the video of the altercation, and it was pretty disturbing to watch.
A girl put her hands on me. Listen. It's Mortal Kombat now, all right? All characters can be chosen. I know all the move list. Yeah, yo.
So it's senior year of college and I'm moving apartments. Cause I was living about 20 minutes away from campus at the time and I just thought it was time for change. It was time for a new scenery. So I decided I'm gonna be moving closer to campus, and the reason was because that's where all the action was. The parties, the clubs, just pretty much every debauchery thing college students indulge in, you would find that closer to campus. So I wanted to be within walking distance so I can experience it to the fullest. And because I lived off campus, I was pretty much hindered and I was on a time constraint because I had to move accordingly with the apartment's shuttle schedule. And sometimes the last shuttle comes in early and I have to catch it, or else I'm gonna be stuck with no way to get home. Now all this has absolutely nothing to do with the story, but I just thought I should mention. So it was gonna be me, my brother, and our friend Chase living together. Now Chase was more of a friend of my brother's than he was mine, but I'd met him a couple of times, so I didn't really mind him living with us. But what I didn't know was he was gonna be bringing his girl to be living in the apartment with us.
Yo, your homie brings his girl to the apartment to live with y'all. Just be prepared for utter chaos, okay? Oh my.
No idea of this, but I couldn't say much because he is technically an equal tenant of the apartment and he can pretty much do whatever he wants.
Okay, chat. Question. If your friend brings somebody, y'all decide to be roommates, and your friend brings somebody into the crib to live with them, should they have to pay for something? Y'all let me know.
We're gonna call this girl Kelly. Now, at first glance, Kelly and Chase seem to have a normal relationship. They kind of look like they enjoyed being around each other.
You say yes?
But that perfect harmonious image didn't really last, because not too long after that, it felt like they took a 180. They were going at each other's necks what seemed like every day. Just arguing and just going at it, pretty much causing disruption throughout the whole apartment. And to be honest, I didn't intervene in their relationship like that because I didn't really know Chase like that, didn't want to step on any toes. So I didn't really have no grounds to stand on to like intervene and, you know, add my 2 cents or whatever. My brother, on the other hand, he tried to calm the situation down. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. When it did, it only lasted for like a day and they're right back.
I'm not stepping into the no situation. Now, if they ask me a question, hey, yo, how do you feel about this? Who do you think is wrong? I'll answer it. All right. But I'm not about to come offer no information.
Back at it. So they were just lost causes. Fast forward about a month into the semester, all of a sudden Chase had to pick up and leave because he had this internship he had to attend to. He was going to be gone for about 2 months, and the internship was overseas. So him leaving meant you
said only if they're using stuff they didn't bring in and maybe some of the water and utilities, but then the other person can figure out. Thank you. The other person can figure that out. I'm still paying my normal amount.
We're gonna be stuck.
True. When we had a roommate that had their girlfriend living with us, she just paid the electric bill, I think. Yeah.
With Kelly. And man, was it rough. Now, I don't really remember much of the shenanigans that happened, but one moment really sticks out to me, and I have tried to burn this out of my memory. So I'm walking into the bathroom one day and I'm going to go wash my hands. So I'm washing my hands, you know, I'm trying to get it nice and clean. And I look on the floor and I see Kelly's underwear filled with a substance that usually happens with women at a particular time in the month. I'm not trying to get too graphic.
Okay.
I remember being disgusted, irritated, and just uncomfortable, but those were just the kind of things she did. She really never picked up after herself.
Now, listen. You're not moving in the crib, not paying nothing, and being dirty. It's not happening.
To be fair, it wasn't like living with Chase was like a walk in the park, because I remember this one time I come out of my room randomly and I see 3 random dudes on the couch smoking weed and doing other questionable things, and that was annoying, so living with both of them exactly wasn't a walk in the park. Anyways, fast forward, eventually Chase gets back from his internship, and me and my brother, we received him with open arms. We were excited he was back, not only because, we missed him, but because now Kelly would go back to being his problem and we wouldn't have to deal with her.
He left his girl living in there while he was gone? You're done. You're done.
We're genuinely excited about that. So it must have been a couple of days after Chase got back that he and Kelly got into another argument. Now, in full transparency, I wasn't present when this argument took place, so I'm not really sure what it was about. But it must have been serious. Well, more serious than the ones they usually had, because Chase got kicked out of the apartment. As a matter of fact,
listen, I get an apartment with two of my friends, and my girlfriend comes and lives with us, and she thinks she's kicking me out the apartment. You're done. You're done. There's no way.
He got escorted out of the apartment. So apparently,
okay. The police came in. Okay, that makes sense.
Kelly had gone to the courts to request a restraining order. Now, what for? I don't know, but she must have done a bang-up job in convincing the judge that she needed.
Thank you. W girlfriends in the chat. You know what I'm saying? We got some shrimp pasta chat, some shrimp pasta, and we got a little side cucumber salad. You know what I'm saying?
Because according to Chase, he said he did not do anything to her, but I wasn't there, so I don't know. But at the time, I wouldn't put it past her to make something up to kick Chase out of spite. I'm just being honest. So with Chase being kicked out, me and my brother start real.
All right, chat. You get a apartment with your two friends. She gets you kicked out. All right. As the two friends, do y'all kick the girl out? You got to. Ain't no way she's staying here.
Realizing the possibility of living alone with Kelly again, there was a plan that had to be made, and this plan was mostly done by my brother. To be honest, I don't even remember where I was when this plan was being constructed. The plan was for my brother to go to Kelly and really convince her of how much Chase really cared for her. Pretty much whispering sweet nothings to her on Chase.
She's not living in the crib. We didn't make a plan to live with you. You're not going to get him kicked out. And then we got to live with you. That's not happening.
His behalf and convincing her of how wrong he was and how sorry he is and how lost he is without her. Like really pulling out all the punches to make Chase look like a sympathetic figure. Now the intentions behind this was to tap into Kelly's emotions enough for her to feel some form of sympathy for Chase. Because let's remember, Chase was kicked out. He's living on the bench. He's sleeping.
I get an apartment and my girl thinks she's going to get me kicked out and I'm going to live on the bench and you live with my friends, you're finished. There's things in this world, chat, that people be letting slide that I don't know how they do it. It's no way. It's no way.
On the bench. And we wanted to tap into that emotion where she can feel enough sympathy for Chase to rescind that restraining order, which she eventually did. But what I didn't know was when he got back access into the apartment, he was then going to go to the courts to request his restraining order on
W Uno reverse
her. And he did that, and he was granted that restraining order, so Kelly was kicked out of the apartment.
W. Either way, I would have went to the court and been like, well, Your Honor, this was my apartment with my friends. She should have to leave. In the first place, there's no way they're kicking me out the crib.
And we were never to see her again. Or so we thought. Because fast forward a couple of nights after, as I am walking back home, and yes, I was coming from the club, so I'm walking back home to the apartment. As I get to the apartment, I open the door, and the first thing I see was the apartment looking like it had just been ransacked. It looked like we had been robbed. It was all a mess. Broken glass, tipped over trash, just a lot of confusion going on within that apartment. But I look and I see Chase's door was cracked open with light streaking from the room, so I know he's around. I go to his room and I see him watching TV, just sat there. I go up to him and I asked him, what happened? Why is the apartment a mess?
Man,
but I also noticed he had cuts and bruises around his face. He responds by saying he and Kelly had just gotten into a physical altercation.
Yeah, there's no way.
I was confused.
There's no way.
I thought he had gotten a restraining order against her. I guess she didn't care too much about that because she decided to pop into the apartment that night with no care in the world. So apparently, while me and my brother were out for the night, Chase had brought over another girl into the apartment.
Jesus Christ. Lord have mercy. Boy.
To hang out with. So while they were hanging out and going about their business, I guess Kelly had popped in and obviously saw the other girl. She got pissed. She said some stuff to the girl. The girl got pissed and she leaves, leaving Kelly and Chase together in the room. Now I just want to make this clear. They were broken up at this point.
That's crazy.
But anyways, they're left alone together in the room. She gets mad. She's yelling. She's throwing a temper tantrum, which then leads to her putting hands on him. He did not hit back. As a matter of fact, he recorded the whole situation because I guess he just had the foresight to realize that the situation was
W response.
gonna escalate to a point that was gonna be very intense.
Sue her?
So
Hey,
he
that's what I'm
shows
saying.
me the video of the altercation and it was pretty disturbing to watch. Now he wasn't gonna report her to the cops. Instead,
He's bugging. She got you a restraining order and got you kicked out the house you were living in with your friends, and you not report. Yo, bro, maybe I'm too petty. All right.
he was gonna use that video as some form of evidence or insurance in case she was ever to return to the apartment again. He just wanted to have that over her so she knows not to mess with him again. And sure enough, it did work because I don't believe we ever saw her in the apartment again. And the state of the apartment for the first time in a long time was normal. Soon after, our lease was up, and me and my brother said we were not going to room with Chase anymore because we just went through, a lot. So my brother and I we find a new apartment, and Chase goes his separate way. But we were still cool.
And then
So
Kelly
this is
showed
usually
up.
the point of the video where I would give you my moral of the story, but I'm not gonna do that this time. As some of you know, if you've been following my community tab, you would know that I recently gave my life to Christ. So in this part of the video, I'm gonna use my talents God has blessed me with to spread the gospel. Starting off with my intentions in moving closer to campus to participate in debaucherous activities.
This whole story is crazy.
Basically fulfilling the lust of my flesh. In Galatians chapter 6 verse 8, it says, "For the one who sows to his own flesh will from the flesh reap corruption, but the one who sows to the Spirit will from the Spirit reap eternal life." Meaning, me wanting to indulge in debaucherous activities by going to the club and getting with girls because it gives you a certain level of dopamine hit, which is indulging your flesh, will only bring out corruption and it can lead you to hell.
Boy, spit
But
right
if you
now.
walk in the Spirit, you will reap eternal life, meaning you will inherit the kingdom. Because in Galatians chapter 5 verse 16,
All right, listen. I ain't gonna lie. We gonna finish watching this for the stream, but listen, the people who watching on YouTube, make sure y'all come over to Twitch. You know what I'm saying? Come join the squad over here. You feel me?